Hello and welcome to Only Connect, where both tonight's teams have already lost one game. That means that the winners of this match will be proceeding in the competition, but the losers will be going home, winning nothing more than a consoling hug from the question editor. Desperate to avoid that fate are, on my right, Dan Shane, a computer science graduate and software engineer who enjoys conducting elaborate culinary experiments. Lindsay Koo, a classicist who grew up in Geneva and was named Young Poet of the Year in 2002 and 2004. And their captain, Vicky Sunter, an editor and linguistics graduate who enjoys playing squash and naming her office plants after famous authors. United by a love of languages, they are the Polyglots. You lost your first game to the Yorkers. How have you been preparing for this match?
We did contemplate doing some revision last night, but we thought we'd go out and have cocktails instead. Seems like good preparation.
That's the sort of revision I've always done before any kind of exams. The old cocktail research.
Yep.
Good luck. You will be facing tonight on my left Paul Allen, a Manchester United supporter and physics graduate who's on a long-running quest to find the perfect martini. Alex Hill, a maths graduate and former door-to-door salesman who's partial to a spot of karaoke and has been known to dress as a banana. And their captain, Claire Lynch, a civil servant who has worked as a carvery chef and a chambermaid in the Lake District. United by a yearning for learning, they are the operational researchers. You lost your first game to the Cluesmiths. Have you also been drowning your sorrows?
Yep, it's mainly been involving a lot of gin.
The quest for the perfect martini?
Exactly. Yes.
I hope you've been combing Cardiff. There are many perfect martinis, you've just got to look in the right places.
We found some very good ones, yes.
So on with the quiz that will decide which of these lovely teams is going home. Polyglots, you won the toss, you'll be going first. Please choose an Egyptian hieroglyph.
Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. I want to know, of course, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next, please. It's not dates, is it? Next.
Yeah, I think
Next, please. Another one? Another one?
Yeah.
Next, please. I have literally no idea what they are. The first one I thought was going to be easy, but the rest of them really are. But we have no idea.
3 seconds. No, that's it, the time is up. So there's a bonus chance for the operational researchers. You could have a guess if you don't know.
Is it something to do with books of the Bible?
It is not to do with books of the Bible. Ah, you're looking at the numbers. No.
Yeah.
Now, what these numbers are, big sports fans will spot, is distances. They're all numbers of metres, and what we're looking at is men's athletic field records. SP stands for shot put. Discus, hammer, javelin, they are records in men's athletic field events. Yes, I won't ask you to tell me who holds those records.
It's not us.
But I will tell you that the most recent of those, interestingly, was broken in 1996, so it's been 18 years since any of those was broken, which may or may not be to do with more stringent drug testing, I don't know. No points on the first question, then. Operational researchers, what would you like?
Can we have the Horned Viper, please?
Yes, you can. What is the connection between these picture clues? Here's the first.
Next.
There's a fence. It looks like there's a fence there.
Final hurdle. I think a fat lady sings the final hurdle. Shall we go next?
Yeah.
Next.
It's like a taco.
We better go next, don't we? Next. Coasts.
How do you mean?
Well, kind of Costa means a coast. Can they all mean?
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid that's not the answer. So a bonus chance for you now, Polyglots.
We also have no idea.
No idea.
They're all anagrams of each other.
They are all anagrams of each other, and the reason I let you talk a bit more is because coast could itself have been a clue. All of these can be made up with the letters A-C-O-S-T. We're looking at the opera.
Tosca.
Tosca. then the racecourse,
Ascot.
the Ascot meeting, then tacos and Costa Coffee, all anagrams of each other. I should probably say, because it's the BBC, other coffee chains are available, although increasingly few. All right, polyglots, no bonus, but your own choice.
Twisted Flax, please.
The Twisted Flax. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
That's spelt wrong. So we need another one, right? Next, please. That should also have 2 T's. But really? Really? They should all have 2 T's in. They've only got 1.
I'm going to accept the answer, because I like it that you've come in after 2 clues. If you looked at the other clues, you'd see it's not always a T, but each of the words has a double letter that has been reduced to a single. But it is T's in the first clues, and I like it. You didn't fall into our trap. I thought perhaps as polyglots, you would have fallen into the trap that you can spell omelette and frittata like this in other languages, in Spanish, in Portuguese, but in English we should see 2 T's in both of those, 2 R's, and the missing letter to make mising in the last one would be an S. So, well spotted. Operational researchers, what would you like?
Can we have water, please?
Yes, you can. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
No, next, please. Next, please.
Let's put 1 doctor, so it's Matt Smith.
Matt Smith.
Is it Matt Smith? Yeah, there was one after that, wasn't there, before?
No, it's Matt Smith and then, yeah. So it could be Smith. Next.
Oh, no, I don't know.
3 seconds.
Magic? I don't know.
Smith. They've all got a surname Smith.
They do not all have the surname Smith, so the bonus chance comes up again for you polyglots.
Bow ties.
Now, if you could all form one big team of 6, you'd be on your way towards the answer. Why do you say Smith?
Matt Smith is the last but one doctor.
Matt Smith is the last but one doctor. What did he wear apart from a bow tie?
Fez.
A fez, as did the shopkeeper and Mr. Ben, Morocco Mole, the sidekick of the Sequit Squirrel, Akbar and Jeff is from a Matt Groening cartoon. All fez wearers. That's the answer. OK, polyglots.
2 reeds, please.
2 reeds.
Oh.
It's the music question. Good luck. I mean, I sense all of you a little bit too much of the research cocktails and martinis last night, so let's see how we get on with some soothing music. What do these clues have in common? Here's the first.
I don't know what this is. Shall I say next? Shall I just say next? Next, please.
Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. Look out, Jackson Town.
Might be Jackson. Say next. Next, please.
But now I think it's time I live my life on my own. I guess it's just what I'm up
Next,
to.
please. Yes. But they were wrong.
You're an old slut and juggler now.
It was famously not number 1, but all I can think about it. It wasn't, though.
3 seconds.
What do I say? Famous for being number 2 rather than number 1.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. OK, operational researchers, can you get a bonus point?
Are they all kind of songs about sort of bad relationships, about breakups?
That's what it is, all featuring bickering, breaking up couples. What did we hear?
Well, the last one was Fairy Tale of New York. Then we had Don't You Want Me by Human League, Jackson by Johnny and June Cash, and we didn't know the first one.
It was the Black Eyed Peas. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Does that mean an unhappy couple? I thought that was normal. But according to my screen, all couples bickering and breaking up. So well done, you get the bonus point. And you get the final question of the round, which is going to be the lion. What do these clues have in common? Here's the first.
Next. They sound like they should all be in...
Are they in some kind of TV show?
Yeah, they sound like they should be. Next.
It's not like, Douglas Adams, is it? Anything like that? No.
I don't think so. Next. Hitchhiker's Guide to...
Yeah?
So I think they're all things too. Oh, I think, are they fan websites?
They are not all fan websites. So, another bonus chance for the polyglots. Can you get it?
We think they're all related to Douglas Adams.
They are all creations of the late, great Douglas Adams. What can you tell me about the clues?
I can't tell you anything.
Starship Titanic was a computer game and then a book as well, but I don't think he wrote
Computer
the
game
book.
in the 90s, that's right.
H2G2 was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy website.
It was a sort of a
But it was a
pre-Wikipedia,
thing, yeah.
wasn't it? A sort of crowdsourced encyclopedia, yes.
The other two, I've got no idea.
Last Chance to See was a radio series and book about endangered species. And The Pirate Planet, do you know what that is over there?
No, I haven't heard of it, no.
No, even though you knew about Matt Smith, it is Doctor Who. It's an episode of Doctor Who from the Tom Baker era, written by Douglas Adams. So, very well done. You get the bonus point. At the end of round 1, the operational researchers have 1 point. The polyglots have 4. Our tired and emotional teams will be delighted here. It's about to get a bit more difficult. This time, they need to work out the connections in their heads and then tell me what comes fourth in a sequence. Yes, it's the sequences round. Polyglots, you'll be going first again. Which hieroglyph?
2 reads, please.
OK, I can tell you these will be picture clues. What would you expect to see in the fourth picture? Here's the first.
It's Freddie Mercury, but we need another one, right? Next, please. That's going to be the I can't get it. Surely, but if not, then we need... What would it be, Bruno Mars? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? OK. Bruno Mars?
Anything else?
Semi-naked.
Look at the first 2 clues. I need to hear
Half-dressed
something
Bruno
else.
Mars? A picture... I don't know.
I'm afraid I can't accept that, so I'm going to have to show the third in the sequence to the operational researchers for a possible bonus point.
We think it's a picture of Bruno Mars with a 2 in the corner.
I need to hear about the number 2. It's actually, we've gone for a picture of a Mars bar.
Good.
Although I should say, this being the BBC, other sugary snacks are available, and I hope they'll all be in my dressing room at the end of the show. My word, it's hard to replace whiskey, I can't tell you. Why would it be something depicting Mars and a number 2?
It's the number of moons.
Number of moons is what the number denotes, and what's the sequence?
It's planets going sort of from nearest to the sun outwards, the first 4 planets.
We're moving further away from the sun, and Mercury, then Venus have no moons. Earth has 1, of course, and the next would be Mars with 2 moons. Very well done. Researchers, your own question.
Can we have the Eye of Horus, please?
Yes, absolutely. What would be the fourth in this sequence? Here's the first.
I did see. Isn't that like a thing that cops spray?
Next.
Did you see? You just see. It's a sequence.
Could it be what?
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, the whole fake things, the whole replacement. Yeah.
So what's the current one? Virgin.
Virgin, specifically Virgin Money, would be the right answer. And why is that?
They're sponsors of the London Marathon.
That's right, successive sponsors of the marathon, and after Flora, the Virgin Company, specifically the Virgin Money brand. Well done. Back to you, polyglots. What would you like?
Twisted Flax, please.
The Twisted Flax. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Could be anything like that. Yeah. We need another one, right? Next, please. I know. Shall I have another? Next, please. They look really familiar. Something else, please. Milton. Wait, it's not going to be the poet, is it? No, it can't. So what's it going to be? Yeah, New Haven can only be a place. It could be a place. We need to say something. I don't know.
3 seconds.
We need it. Basically, Buzz, because we had to, we have no sensible answer at all.
No answer to offer?
I don't think we have.
OK, a diplomatic silence. Researchers, would you like to have a go?
Chicago.
It is not Chicago, but what are you thinking of?
Where presidents studied.
Or home.
You're on the
presidents
right
studied.
lines. It is birthplaces. So Milton, Massachusetts, George Bush Sr. Next president, Hope, Arkansas, the birthplace of Bill Clinton. Then the young George Bush, New Haven, Connecticut. And Barack Obama was born in?
Honolulu.
Honolulu. The official birthplace of US presidents moving sequentially forwards, and Honolulu would have been next. So you don't get the bonus point, but you do get the chance to choose a question.
Can we have lion, please?
Lion, OK. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
C.S. Lewis.
What's that? Okay.
So yeah, next. CV, so curriculum vitae. Do you want to go for it? CT, CV.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Like curriculum vitae.
Otherwise known as a biographical summary. I will accept that answer. And why?
Well, Narnia Chronicler is C.S. Lewis, then a body scan is a CT scan, and then copper, CU.
You didn't need to see CU denoting copper, so we're going CS, CT, CU, abbreviations moving through the alphabet, and I wanted to hear a CV. Well done. Back to you, polyglots, for a choice.
Water, please.
Water. What would be forth in this little sequence? Here's the first.
Yeah. Next, please. Okay, so the last one's definitely going to be more than 43 in brackets for anything up one, right? Yes. Next, please. Exactly, that would have been what I'd guessed as the last one. Brackets 1/43 close brackets. Or murder. It's got to be something to do with or wills, possibly.
3 seconds.
Death brackets 1/43 close brackets.
I'm going to give you another go. Just have a look at the other clues and tell me something more specific.
Your own death.
I can't accept that, so I'm afraid there's a
really
bonus chance again for you researchers.
Death of a child?
That's not it, although I must say the show is taking a jolly turn. Now, these are, as you may know, things on the Holmes-Ray stress scale. It's from the 1967 study about what stresses you out. And your own death, I suppose the prospect of it might, but it doesn't really feature. No, number one, death of a spouse. Okay. The reason why I couldn't just accept death is because we've got death of a family member at clue 4 or 1. I mean, that would be number 4 because we're going back to number 1. Death of a family member, which is apparently exactly as stressful as being imprisoned. And then marital separation and then divorce, and it's specifically the death of a spouse considered to be the most stressful life event. Sometimes you read these things in the tabloid press, don't you? And it's always moving house. Yeah. People love to say that's real urban. Oh, moving house, that's as stressful as, you know, death and divorce and that sort of thing. And you think, you know, really, you look at the scale and you think, really, having to put the pot plants in a box, should that really feature? So no points there. And there is one question remaining. That is going to go to you, operational researchers, the Horned Viper. It's a music sequence. Lovely. You're going to be hearing the clues, and I want to know what sound or piece of music you expect to come forth. Shout next when you want to hear another clue. Here's the first.
Don't get caught. Make your own way. Express yourself. Don't give
Next.
So it's 19... Oh, no, 80. Is it 78? Is it... That's the Glenn Hoddle
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it Back Home?
That is the correct answer. What did we listen to?
The first one was the New Order and England World Cup squad World in Motion.
From which World Cup?
That was 1990. It was the first record I ever bought.
OK, excellent. The first record I ever bought was Boy Oh Boy by Racy. That shows the gap in our ages. Don't Google it. Next one?
I don't know what that one is called, but it's from 1986, I think.
86 in Mexico. We've got the whole world at our feet. You didn't need to hear. This time we'll get it right. That will be from Spain 82. We're going backwards in time. And the next one would have been Back Home from Mexico 1970. That means at the end of round 2, the polyglots have 4 points. The operational researchers have 10. New contender for number 1 on the Holmes-Ray stress scale. It's the connecting wall. 16 clues, all jumbled up, need sorting into 4 connected groups of 4. You'll be going first this time, operational researchers, so you have a choice, lion or water.
Can we have the lion, please?
Yes, you can. You have 2.5 minutes to solve the lion wall, starting now.
Telford and Brunel.
Birkbeck and Brunel are kind of universities and Goldsmiths.
Goldsmiths
So
and
us.
Do you want to cycle those?
Yeah.
And we've got like, sorry,
Oswestry, Telford, they're all in
we've got
Yeah, they are. Oswestry, Telford are in Shropshire. Ludlow is in Shropshire.
Ludlow,
Telford.
Telford and...
Webb, maybe?
Yeah.
Three strikes and you're out now.
Settlers, Zantac are all, and Rennie are all indigestion.
So
and
if-
Tums as well, though.
So if we had
So you've got engineers,
Basil Getty.
Brunel, Basil.
maybe Renee is an engineer as well.
So Basil, yeah. Brunel,
Brunel.
Smeaton and Rennie.
We want to go give that a
The
try?
other four are
Yeah.
The other
indigestion.
four indigestion, yeah.
That's it. You solved the wall very quickly. OK, that is 4 points immediately for finding the groups. What about the connections? Tell me about the first blue group starting Queen Mary.
They're sort of London University, London colleges.
They are constituent colleges at the University of London. And the next one, starting Telford.
Towns in Shropshire.
They are all in Shropshire. Yes, I'm thinking it's becoming like our Central African Republic, Shropshire. You can see it on the wall a lot of times. I think it's perhaps because it's nearly Wales. That's what we love about Shropshire. The next pink group, starting Smeaton.
That's all engineers.
They are British civil engineers. Can you tell me their first names?
Well, Isambard Kingdom Brunel
Yes.
and... Oh, I can't remember Basil Getty's first name, but I don't know the
I
other
should
ones.
know Rennie, but I can't place it.
It's Joseph. I assume it's Bazalgette, like Peter Bazalgette, who's a sort of descendant of his in television. Joseph Bazalgette. And then there's John Rennie. Well, there's actually two John Rennies, an older one and a younger one, but all British civil engineers. And the last turquoise group starting Gaviscon.
Sort of indigestion medicines.
Antacid medication. Perhaps what all six of you needed after your research trips last night. But that's right. So, 4 points for the groups, 4 points for the connections, a bonus 2 for getting it all right. That is the maximum of 10. Very well done. Time to bring in the polyglots and give them a new connecting wall. 16 fresh clues still need sorting in the exact same way. It'll be the water wall for you. You have 2.5 minutes to solve it, starting now.
So these are Harry Potter characters
Yes,
as well, right? So do that.
anything else?
Sorry.
Well, there's Shakespearean
okay.
characters as well. Are there any others? No. There's words from... Okay,
Okay,
so...
there's also-
Parka pyjamas, kerchief, perhaps?
Chutney or pashmina.
Chutney, or
And
maybe...
bandana, probably, in maybe like...
So, parka pyjamas. Do you think bandana is one of these? I'll do these.
Yes.
I'll do these and you can try.
Okay, Bellatrix is trying to Mrs. Wiggins.
Let's touch
And Mrs. Lovett were definitely characters played by Hannah Bonham.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
Okay,
count.
and Mrs.
Yeah.
Bucket.
Yeah,
Okay,
good
so
point.
these ones are definitely her,
Right.
and shows that.
Right. Okay.
No, sorry, no, not her, this one.
Yeah.
There's ties as well. So there's
Ties.
ascot, kerchief, cravat,
Cravat,
and something.
fishes,
Should we
must
try
be.
that?
Yeah,
But that, hold on, that leaves Titus Andronicus.
yeah, do it.
Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
Okay.
Remember,
So
3
she
strikes
wasn't
and you're out.
Titus
You've got plenty of
Andronicus.
time.
She wasn't. Well, she's a woman, so
Parka-
probably
yeah,
not.
so what could Parka then? So she's not... She doesn't play Ophelia, does she?
I don't think so. So who's Mrs. Miggins?
It's got to be characters in
Who's Mrs. Miggins?
something.
I'm getting
Well,
confused.
so Titus, so she obviously doesn't play Titus.
No.
She's not Ophelia. She's not
Really?
Parka.
No.
Right? So
But we've done this as a set already.
So it's not.
they're in
We
these
need to-
two.
we need to-
Should
we're
we
gonna
try
have to-
Mrs. Miggins then?
Yeah.
Got a minute
No,
left.
No, we
because
tried
we're
that. Okay.
Mrs. Bucket.
Mrs. Bucket.
We've only got.
red-
We've only got.
The red queen, maybe?
We've only got 2
Yeah,
more
I
goes.
I know, but
It's
we've
also
also not got that long.
it doesn't sound like it's going to be
There's
Bellatrix
something about.
Lestrange, does it?
No, it doesn't sound
No.
It's just strange.
Should we try the Red Queen?
Maybe.
No. One more go.
Yeah.
Only one more go.
But are we sure about that, though? I mean, I
Well,
don't
only
need
because
it.
I can't see that,
No,
that
I
she
can't
links to
either.
those. Unless she did play... I can't remember anything in
Maybe
which
she
she's played
played
Ophelia.
Maybe she did. Can we try that?
Okay,
Because
sure.
That's when
So-
This is a lot.
I know
last
it is,
one.
but
30 seconds.
Right. So what do you want to try?
Ophelia.
Ophelia, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah,
Mrs. Lovett.
maybe.
And...
The Red
Red
Queen?
Queen. No.
That's it. Your 3 strikes are up. But you found 2 groups, so that's 2 points immediately. And I'll give you more for the connections. What about that first group? Bandana, chutney, pyjamas, pashmina.
Are they all words from Hindi?
They are all from Hindi. Your polyglot course, anybody speak Hindi?
No.
That's something to brush up on. But you spotted the Hindi word, so well done, you get that point. What about the next group, starting Ascot?
What are these types?
Neckties.
Types of necktie.
Types of necktie, that's exactly right. And you can still get connecting points in the groups you didn't find, so let's resolve the wall. There we are, that's how it should have looked. Titus Andronicus, Mrs. Lovett, Mrs. Miggins, Pucker.
Oh, it's pies. It's to do with baking things in pies.
They are pie makers. You certainly spotted it.
Yeah.
You were saying, who is Mrs. Miggins?
The worst bit is, I'm thinking
feel that-
Blackadder. It's Blackadder.
That's right. Helen Atkinson Wood in Blackadder II, Mrs. Miggins from the pie shop. Titus Andronicus, of course, baked a horrible human pie. Pucker Pies is Leicestershire Pie Company. What about Mrs. Lovett? Who's that?
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. Well spotted at the last minute there. All pie makers. And the last group, the Red Queen, Bellatrix Lestrange, Mrs. Bucket, or Bouquet, I suppose, Ophelia.
Characters played by Helena Bonham Carter.
All played by Helena Bonham Carter. So that is 2 points for the groups you found, 4 points for the connections. That is a total of 6. Let's see what that does to the scores. The polyglots have 10 points. The operational researchers have 20. So a bit of work for you to do in the final round, polyglots, but it can be done. Fingers on buzzers. You will lose points if you get a letter wrong, so be careful. I can tell you that the first group are all novels by Thomas Pynchon. Don't know this one. It's Inherent Vice. Next clue. Researchers?
Gravity's Rainbow.
Correct. Not Pynchon fans. This one's Bleeding Edge. Last clue. Well, you'll never spot this one. It's a trick. The answer is V. Next category, things a sat-nav might say. Polyglots.
Turn right.
Correct. Researchers?
Turn around where possible.
Correct. Polyglots?
In 100 yards, bare left.
Well done. Researchers?
You have reached your destination.
That's right. Next category, BBC series that have been running for 25 years and more. Polyglots?
Casualty.
Correct. Researchers?
Antiques Roadshow.
Yes. Researchers?
Newsround.
Newsround is the right answer, and this show, unfortunately, cannot last for 25 years because the bell has gone. It's the end of the quiz. Finishing in an excellent second place with 13 points, it's the Polyglots. But triumphant winners with an amazing 25 after that slow start, it's the Operational Researchers. Very well done to you. Particularly amazing round 2 you had. You are through to the next round. Polyglots, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye. You've been a really lovely team. It was great to meet you. Thanks for coming. I'm sorry you have to go home. Yes, for the Operational Researchers, it's the sweet tang of victory. For the Polyglots, the clammy embrace of defeat. And by defeat, I mean the question editor. Goodbye. Hello and welcome to Only Connect, where both tonight's teams have already lost one game. That means that the winners of this match will be proceeding in the competition, but the losers will be going home, winning nothing more than a consoling hug from the question editor. Desperate to avoid that fate are, on my right, Dan Shane, a computer science graduate and software engineer who enjoys conducting elaborate culinary experiments. Lindsay Koo, a classicist who grew up in Geneva and was named Young Poet of the Year in 2002 and 2004. And their captain, Vicky Sunter, an editor and linguistics graduate who enjoys playing squash and naming her office plants after famous authors. United by a love of languages, they are the Polyglots. You lost your first game to the Yorkers. How have you been preparing for this match?
We did contemplate doing some revision last night, but we thought we'd go out and have cocktails instead. Seems like good preparation.
That's the sort of revision I've always done before any kind of exams. The old cocktail research.
Yeah.
Good luck. You will be facing tonight on my left Paul Allen, a Manchester United supporter and physics graduate who's on a long-running quest to find the perfect martini. Alex Hill, a maths graduate and former door-to-door salesman who's partial to a spot of karaoke and has been known to dress as a banana. And their captain, Claire Lynch, a civil servant who has worked as a carvery chef and a chambermaid in the Lake District. United by a yearning for learning, they are the operational researchers. You lost your first game to the Cluesmiths. Have you also been drowning your sorrows?
Yep, it's mainly been involving a lot of gin.
The quest for the perfect martini?
Exactly.
I hope you've been combing Cardiff. There are many perfect martinis, you've just got to look in the right places.
We found some very good ones, yes.
So on with the quiz that will decide which of these lovely teams is going home. Polyglots, you won the toss, you'll be going first. Please choose an Egyptian hieroglyph.
Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. I want to know, of course, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
It's 3rd of December, but we need more. Next, please. It's not dates, then, is it? Next.
Yeah, I think.
Next, please. Another one? Another one?
Yeah.
Next, please. I have literally no idea what they are. The first one I thought was going to be a secret, but the rest of them really aren't. But we have no idea.
3 seconds. No, that's it. The
Absolutely
time is
nothing.
up. So there's a bonus chance for the operational researchers. You could have a guess if you don't know.
Is it something to do with books of the Bible?
It is not to do with books of the Bible. Ah, you're looking at the numbers. No.
Yeah.
Now, what these numbers are, big sports fans will spot, is distances. They're all numbers of metres, and what we're looking at is men's athletic field records. SP stands for shot put. Discus, hammer, javelin, they are records in men's athletic field events. Yes, I won't ask you to tell me who holds those records.
It's not us. That's...
But I will tell you that the most recent of those, interestingly, was broken in 1996, so it's been 18 years since any of those was broken, which may or may not be to do with more stringent drug testing, I don't know. No points on the first question then. Operational researchers, what would you like?
Can we have the Horned Viper, please?
Yes, you can. What is the connection between these picture clues? Here's the first.
Next.
There's a fence. No, it looks like there's a fence there.
Final hurdle. I think it's Fat Lady Things, the final hurdle. Should we go next?
Yeah.
Next.
It's like a taco.
I think we better go next, haven't we? Next. Coasts.
How do you mean?
Well, kind of Costa means a coast. Can they all mean?
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid that's not the answer. So a bonus chance for you now, Polyglots.
We also have no idea.
No idea.
They're all anagrams of each other.
They are all anagrams of each other, and the reason I let you talk a bit more is because coast could itself have been a clue. All of these can be made up with the letters A-C-O-S-T. We're looking at the opera.
Tosca.
Tosca, then the racecourse.
Ascot.
The Ascot meeting, then tacos and Costa Coffee, all anagrams of each other. I should probably say, because it's the BBC, other coffee chains are available, although increasingly few. All right, Polyglots, no bonus, but your own choice.
Twisted Flax, please.
The Twisted Flax. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Oh, that's spelt wrong. So we need another one, right? Next, please. That should also have 2 T's. But really? Really? They should all have 2 T's in. They've only got 1.
I'm going to accept the answer. because I like it that you've come in after 2 clues. If you looked at the other clues, you'd see it's not always a T, but each of the words has a double letter that has been reduced to a single. But it is T's in the first clues, and I like it. You didn't fall into our trap. I thought perhaps as polyglots, you would have fallen into the trap that you can spell omelette and frittata like this in other languages, in Spanish, in Portuguese, but in English we should see 2 T's in both of those, 2 R's, and the missing letter to make mising in the last one would be an S. So, well spotted. Operational researchers, what would you like?
Can we have water, please?
Yes, you can. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next, please. Next, please.
Let's put 1 doctor. So that's
Matt Smith.
Is it Matt Smith? Yeah. No, there was one after that, wasn't there, before?
No, it's Matt Smith, and then, yeah. So it could be Smith. Next.
I don't know.
3 seconds.
Magic?
Smith. They've all got the surname Smith.
They do not all have the surname Smith, so the bonus chance comes up again for you polyglots.
Bow ties.
Now, if you could all form one big team of 6, you'd be on your way towards the answer. Why do you say Smith?
Matt Smith is the last but one doctor.
Matt Smith is the last but one doctor. What did he wear apart from a bow tie?
Fez.
A fez, as did the shopkeeper and Mr. Ben, Morocco Mole, the sidekick of the Sequit Squirrel, Akbar and Jeff is from a Matt Groening cartoon. All fez wearers. That's the answer. OK, polyglots.
2 reeds, please.
2 reeds.
Oh.
It's the music question. Good luck. I mean, I sent all of you a little bit too much of the research cocktails and martinis last night, so let's see how we get on with some soothing music. What do these clues have in common? Here's the first.
I don't know what this is. Should I say next? Should I just say next? Next, please.
Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. Look out, Jackson Town.
Might be. Should I say next? Next, please.
But now I think it's time I